is so much greater at every level. So what if your body gets hit, smashed, whatever? Because the sooner you leave it, the sooner you could do greater things. And Jesus talked about that, but that's not written in the Bible either. Jesus didn't teach about staying on planet Earth, ever. So when you talk about where we get these perverted, twisted thoughts and ideas and religions that say this, that, and the other thing, now, don't get me wrong, no path had the truth. From the native nation to the African tribes to the Russians, all the way through all the religions and stuff, they didn't have the truth. They never talked about God, ever. Why is that? Go back to the first religion ever created, which was Hinduism. Why? Because the deities had power, and they were making these people do things. And then the aliens came in, and they took on the same role as they did, and knew they could get away with it. The Egyptians were following aliens. They got a clue to what reincarnation was, but they weren't explained it in any detail, and they had no clue what really happened during it. To build a pyramid to immortalize your body and expect to come back and go into the body was delusional. Then it was delusional, but they accepted it as a reality. So the powers that people had were abused after Atlantis went down. So they were all taken away. Traces of healing, traces of awareness and things started coming back. Just traces for people. Not one person could use it 100% anytime. They can't. And just by the fact, I was a magician for almost 30 years. On the other hand, the fake magic, which was always linked to real magic. But no matter what people said, oh, I can bring a ship in when I call it down. Really, do it right now. Oh, they're not going to come down now. Why? I can levitate something. When? When I'm home and I'm in. Oh, why can't you do it now? It's always when they think they can do it, or when it happens. So the abilities that we had would be used at every level to destroy the planet even greater. And obviously, the first thing that it would be used for is to make money. And I tell people, you're so psychic, go to the casino, take all their money, and build 20 child homes and things, women abuse centers. Do something constructive with it then. You know, be like Robin Hood. Steal from the rich and give to the poor. The rich don't need it. The rich get richer. You heard that phrase? Well, what do they do with the millions and billions of dollars in the bank? Nothing. So you think God created a system where everybody could become super mass millionaires and then hoard the money and do nothing? It just shows you they have no clue about God or spirit or truth. Money would change the world. It would make everything different if everybody was equal. If we even felt we're equal. Why does a football player deserve more money than a farmer? Why does a boxer deserve more money than anybody in the medical field at all? And why I say that, it bothers me so much. Last year, my owner of where I was living said, "Oh, can you come over and watch a game with me, a fight with me?" And I said, "All right." It was two people fighting. One of them got paid $180 million. $180 million. The other one, I think, got $160 million. Never mind, that's without the companies that showed it, promoted it, and sponsored it on TV and radio and everything else. All the other things that made money. Do you imagine what that would have done for the United States alone? We talk about poverty. It would change that. See, all these programs that take money for poverty or for things, how much of it touches the people that need it? Very little. Sorry. Oh man, I'm not even thinking of it. Well, one of the companies, New Jersey Bell, sponsored, gave him money. I did all the time. Until I found out the vice president or president bought themselves a jet with the money. Why does he have the right to spend the money on himself? That's not what I'm donating on a monthly basis to. So the native nation gets no money. United Way, you're right. Sorry about that. Thank you. Yeah, United Way. I was given to it for like 15 years, and then when we found out that, half of us dropped United Way. I wouldn't give to them again. So, but in a reality of this world, and in religions, they want you to donate to them a percentage. I almost became a preacher. If the born again preacher that I was dealing with didn't say I had to sign a piece of paper saying I was going to give 40% to the church, I might have became a born again preacher at that time. I became a minister, but I mean I would became a born again preacher, and there's a big difference. I don't know if you ever went to a born again church and things like that, what they do, how they act, and all that stuff. I was going 6 days a week, 4 hours a night. I had all my time in, and I was just ready to sign a paper to become. And then when I saw that, I said, "Why? God didn't tell me to give 40% to you." I said, "I'll give a lot more when I can. But when I have to pay my rent, I'll pay my rent. When I have to buy my food, I'll buy my food." Somebody just said if they had the money to help me support, create a school. I would love to have a school, but I don't have the money. I'm not sure that the world really deserves it. Not because I don't want to or want to. I think about Jesus. Had the most important message for mankind, and nobody heard it. So, sure, I feel if I help one person, that's all that matters. If one person takes a step forward, then backwards, I'm happy about that. Not that I would like to touch a few more, but Jesus said, "He who have no faith, follow me." He only wanted people that were ready to take a step in the growth of spiritual truth, not a religion. He didn't say, "Come follow me, I'm a Christian." He said, "Come follow me if you don't have a belief." For a reason, because somebody with an open mind can grow and understand what he was saying. A closed mind, like the priesthood and everybody else, could not understand Jesus at any level, especially what he was talking about. They had spies and tried to understand what he was talking about. They heard glimpses of what he was talking about. Death was never a good thing to those people. Heaven was a make-believe place and all that. But we need to move forward every day in any way we can. Now, I'm going to take a sip because we did 1 hour. How much time do I have? Man, I did more than an hour and almost an hour and a half. Sorry, I got to get a lot more in. I want to go into this, and I feel critical because we're running out of time. But as far as what's happening in the world this week, I want to talk about sex crimes. How man protects men and not women during those kind of events. How laws work for men and not women. How is that? Why is that? You know, for the longest time, women were not allowed to plead temporary insanity. I don't know how the law is on it. I was on grand jury duty, and I sat through a lot of cases, and I might be stuck on it again, but I'm not sure for how long. I mean, I got to listen to the documents of when the laws were created and all that every time, and if I don't know it, they'll have to read it to me. But the reason why women were always considered more caring, loving, compassionate, and aware. So they didn't have the right to go insane. When men were always hot-headed, mentally disturbed, whatever word you want to use, and could do whatever they want and get away with it, which is really sick. All right, now I have followed Bill Cosby all my life. When I was 12, around that age, every month or two he was putting out a comedy album. And my brother used to go out and buy it, and we used to just sit there listening to it. I cracked my head off. I mean, it probably started many years before that. All I can say that I know I listened to one of his things, and he talked about having your tonsils out as well, and that's what happened to me when I was in the hospital and everything else. So it had to be younger even. But I respected him then as a comedian. Somewhere before he started doing his TV show, I kind of blocked him out of my reality as far as anything, as a comedian, as anything. When his show came on TV, I couldn't believe it. When he was doing commercials, I say, why him? And I just had this negative energy building and building and building with inside. I was empathic for almost 2 years. During that time frame, I truly could hear what anybody thought. And I proved it every day. So I'm not making it up. I proved it to myself every day because I didn't believe it. But I had to check one person on a daily basis to make sure I was reading them what they said. And when you confront somebody with what they're thinking, they kind of like just lose it. Especially when it's something sick, stupid, or dumb, which it always is. So, again, I stopped caring about his TV show. I stopped caring about him. But when I heard about the first sex charge, and when that started, it became a horrible thing in my mind. I mean, I know about... I don't want to go into my sex things that happened to me when I was little, but I was involved with a lot of different things like that. And for a person to do that to somebody is sick. Whether it's an hour, a minute, there's no time frame on it. There's no justification for it. So when he got suddenly a couple more women called in, wrote in, however, went to the town, state, and got involved with that, I felt sick. I said, this person that I thought was a nice guy is evil, and now I felt why I don't like him anymore. But then when it went up to the higher numbers, I couldn't understand why he was still on the street. Oh, well, that was such a long time ago. I said, well, women block those out for a reason. I'm going to go into that because I feel that's important. And I wish I had time to go in front of these stupid people in Congress or in the court case and say, hey, look, think about a couple things before you even attack a woman. Like a woman has nothing to do, sit around and say, well, I'm going to make charges against that person. He's too nice or too good. And ruin their lives for it? In school, and I'll tell you straight out, if a girl was raped, people didn't even want to associate with her anymore. They wanted to block it out and all those kind of things. So it's not like, I married 2 women that were raped. So it's not like I'm afraid of it or can't deal with it. But it was still wrong and angry to me at the time when I heard and found out and things like that. I worked around millionaire families. I know how rich people live and things. Almost married one, just trying to. But I don't want to go too far off. Let me stick with Bill Cosby real fast. When I found out these women will all be calling, and when I pull up Bill Cosby and all these men write in, or they were asking for it, or they asked for it, or they're all twisting him, nothing else to do, and they would put women down. They don't know the woman. They don't know the story. I always say, don't talk about anything you don't know or experience yourself. You have no right to. You might think you do. Oh, I'm free to do whatever you want. Well, free to go to jail? Yes, you should be. But when that all happened, and 13 women went to the court systems, and they overturned the laws. That's what women need to do as a group consciousnh. But see, they've been so suppressed, the women that have to go into being a hooker, prostitute, whatever words you can deal with, high-paid caregiver, massage therapist, whatever words that have to fit it, to make money to survive. And that's all they can do. That's all they believe they can do. Who keeps them there? Men do. Instead of giving a woman money for sex, how about giving her a job? A real job. So, yeah, it's abuse. And then I don't want to get into how bad it gets. I'm sure you know how bad that gets. Down to children and everything else and what they do and how they sell it, how it makes money. I can go on about that, which if I was in that energy for a long time, I think it would be too bad for me. I don't know if I could deal with it for that long. But when that happened, I was so happy to hear it. When they changed the laws that if a woman remembers the abuse, she can go to court. Most women stick it in that place I told you, stick it in that box and seal it. But if it's haunting you, you didn't seal it. So it has to be released somewhere. At least that's what you feel, no matter what time it is. You're not looking at your watch or your calendar. You're looking at your mind when it says, hey, do you remember what really happened to you? And when you do, suddenly it's like, wow, I suppressed that. I mean, these people that say they were abducted by aliens and they